Hey guys, Mr. Case here again. Going to go over day 19 of the NTI Work for the third grade. Pretty easy day overall. Got one vocab worksheet, just a vocabulary crossword. Kiddos can reference back to the vocab sheet that they have from day 16. And, if they want to try first without it, just get that extra practice, and then if they need to reference back to it, no big deal. Pretty simple though, pretty self-explanatory. Then we'll get into the math. So once again, we have one more of these sheets here. Top left, you're just doing addition. It's a lot of 3-digit numbers. And if you go to the top right, it's more multiplication practice, some smaller numbers, so not too hard problems. Bottom left, it says write the time shown. So student's going to look at the clock and they're going to determine what time it says on the clock. Remember, little hand represents the hour, the big hand represents the minutes. Bottom right, it says circle the answer. It gives you 2 questions. So it says any sum of 2 even numbers is, your choices are even and odd. It says any sum of 2 odd numbers is, it's either even or odd. And then in the middle in the circle, it says round to the nearest hundred again. So once again, you look at that second number, and that's going to tell you if you're going to go up. So you look at the number in the tens place. Now, this time we have 2 numbers that have 4 digits. So when you're looking at those numbers, you got to look at the tens place. So like 1,395, you don't look necessarily at the 3 because we're rounding to the nearest hundred. What you got to look at is at that 9. And your number in the thousands, that's going to stay the same because we're only changing the number in the thousands. The only way that number changes, or that number in the hundreds, the only way that number changes in the thousands is if it was like 1,957. Well, the next hundreds would make that number change in the thousands to 2,000. But we don't have any of those on this worksheet, so you don't have to change the thousands number, just that number in the hundreds. Okay, so that is that worksheet. And once again, we got some more multiplication. So this time it's going to go, first row is 7s, second row is 8s, the next row is 9s, 10s, 11s, and 12s. The kiddos usually do pretty well with the 10s because, like I always say, our first problem is 10 times 5. All you have to do is add a 0 after the 5. That's it. And it gives you 50. Anytime you multiply something by 10, you just add a 0 to the end of that number, and it gives you your answer. And then especially when you do 11s, anytime you multiply 11 by any number 1 through 9, it's just going to be, that number written down twice, like 11 times 7. Because I tell the kids, if you do 7 times 1, 7. 7 times 1 again, 7 goes into tens, 77. And then the 12s, I always tell the kids, I know sometimes kids get worried because they see that 12 and it becomes intimidating. Just do it one number at a time. So 3, like the first one, 12 times 3. I always tell the kids, all right, let's do 3 times 2 first. It gives us 6. Okay, let's do 3 times 1. Gives us 3. Answer is 36. That kind of makes it a lot simpler when you break it down. Like, hey, you don't have to count by 12s or 3s. Just multiply it one number at a time. It's still a new concept, so it's understanding that number can be intimidating. And then I also have a video up describing how to multiply the 9s, a little tip that I've learned over time. Just kind of a pattern that the number 9 does when you multiply it. But that is it for day 19. I hope you guys found the video useful, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.